So we're going to talk about woke one and woke two. I'm just going to say right off the top, woke two is worse than woke one. Not everyone may agree. We've got Marc Thiessen, Fox News contributor. We've got Kim Strassel, Fox News contributor, two of the best and friends of mine. Kim Strassel, love reading your article on this. AOC tries to make a joke of woke. And you're right. You know, people forget. I mean, she's not backing off the Green New Deal, for example, or DEI, for example, or Lord knows the state taking over the economy and the healthcare system and all that stuff. And she doesn't know why men shouldn't be playing in women's basketball leagues. But here's the thing, Kim. This comes from the New York Sun. Our friend Seth Lipsky makes this point. Besides all that, and besides whatever else they've tacked on, what Woke 2 has with all these new players is unbelievable anti-Semitism, hatred of the state of Israel, hatred of Jewish people. Mandami has it here in the city. The guy in Michigan's got it. But it's really almost one of the animating parts. We didn't hear that anti-Semitism in 2020 particularly, or I don't recall it. I think it came, after October 7th and the horrible bombing of the Israelis and the international people. This is the New York Sun saying. So this anti-Semitism has made woke 2 worse than woke 1.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that entirely. And now it's like open, by the way. And in fact, it's now a litmus test among progressives. If you don't say that you essentially hate Israel, if you don't say that the Israeli leaders need to be prosecuted for genocide, if you're not disavowing any money coming from Israel or any support at all, military or in any other form for Israel, then you are essentially persona non grata. So it's now an institutional aspect of the Democratic Party. And I'd also just point out, Larry, that is different than what you are seeing on the Republican side, where Republicans are standing up to push back against those sentiments.
Yes, they are. To their great credit. That's exactly right. And I hope to heck they stay with it. But, Marc Thiessen, again, I don't think I'm wrong here. All the craziness of woke one, and a lot of the economic craziness, the Green New, they still want to end fossil fuels in the next 10 or 20 or 30 years. I mean, and open borders, and they would bring back DEI and all that crazy affirmative action stuff. I mean, heck, some of these colleges like Harvard is still fighting it tooth and nail. Well, none of that's really changed. But woke 2, maybe have more socialism, okay, but they have the anti-Semitism. That's what makes this even worse. And of course, when you start hating and bigotry towards Jewish people, then the next one will be Catholics, and the next one will be African Americans, and the next one will be Hispanics, and that's what history proves. Once you start it, that ball just keeps running downhill.
Absolutely. And look, what ended woke 1 was the election of Donald Trump. And so now, we're looking at the world, and the clouds have parted, the sun is coming through and shining. It's, wokeness seems to be on its back heels. And what I think a lot of Americans don't realize is we're in the eye of the storm. The woke 2 is coming if they ever get power again, and the storm is going to be much worse and much bigger than it was before. And to your point you made about how we're pushing back on it, look, we got rid of the anti-Semites in our caucus on Capitol Hill. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump pushed her out. Tom Massey, Trump pushed him out. They're adding to their stable. They're going to be we could see the squad double in size. And if they provide the margin of victory in the midterms, it means they provide the margin of victory in anything that the Democrats do with their new majority, which means they are in charge. They're the Islamic radicals, the anti-Semites, the DSA adjacent candidates or DSA openly candidates are going to be running the show when it comes to a new Democratic congressional majority. So the woke 2 is going to be far worse than woke 1 ever was.
Yeah, I mean, Kim, I give Seth Lipsky, who's a friend of ours, I give him a lot of credit, New York Sun editorialist. We used to work for the Wall Street Journal. William F. Buckley, 70 years ago, kicked out the John Birchers for a whole variety of reasons, but anti-Semitism was one of them. And so the GOP's got to stay on the top of its game. Kim, just one quick thing. You expect any surprises today in the primaries? I haven't given enough time to the primaries. My friend Byron Donalds, I believe, is going to be the Republican nominee for governor in Florida. And to have a smart African-American like that on the cusp of becoming governor of an old South state, I think is a fabulous thing, Kim.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, I think, a good victory. And what I'm watching, Larry, is actually the margin of that victory, because you read the press right now, they are trying to stir up trouble. They're really promoting this sort of populist, by the way, slightly anti-Semitic character on the right who's also running against Donald's down there in that race, suggesting that this is a guy that has the ear of the Gen Z of the Republican Party. I want to see how much he loses by, and hopefully that will be another statement for the party to walk away with about how they look at those kind of characters.
Yeah, very important. Marc Thiessen, I don't have any time, but I want to ask you. 10 seconds. You know, sorry, but the fact of the matter is, you know, Iran, not so quietly, is going to be, you know, doing great mischief. And the question is, did we, at least in the diplomacy part, did we misjudge Iran?
Well, I think the thing I'm worried about is an Iranian October surprise. I think the Iranians know the midterms are coming. I think that they intend to affect the midterms by either trying to kill Americans or raise gas prices with a tax of some kind.
I gotta get out.
This is a very dangerous thing we're heading into by leaving this unfinished.
Very worried
right now.
about this. Very worried about the whole story. Anyway, there's never enough time. Marc Thiessen, thank you. Kim Strassel, thank you.